guys and gals. Okay, so one of the things we've done today is we're getting ready to move the cattle over to the rental property, and this is the rental property. So we came in here. There's a section of this property that is really dense woods, and I really can't get to the cattle if they get in there. So what we did, we came in and we put a little hot wire up on one side, and we're just going to keep the cattle out of this deep, dense woods. Hopefully they wouldn't go in there anyway, but let's see. So here's a low water crossing. If you notice in one of my previous videos, I showed you where the landowner put in this low water crossing. Fast forward about 3 years, it's holding up. It's actually doing a good job. Everything is good. So this is what we did today. We came in here and we ran. First thing we did was we took a shredder and came in and shredded where the fence is going to go, because we got to get the cattle up here to the top of the hill. And so you can see we ran the wires. We also cut back any tree limbs that were actually touching the hot wire. But basically when the cows, when we move them, we're literally going to do a cattle drive to get them over here. Now in theory they should follow the feed truck, or the feed tractor I should say. But you can see we trimmed those up so the tractor wouldn't hit. Come in here. Once again, keeping them out of the woods. And voila. Now, we're out in the middle of the pasture. And this is what it's all about. So the grass is not great. In this little area right here, it's pretty thick, but before the low water crossing came in, this land was a little bit neglected just because you couldn't access it. But now with the low water crossing, we're trying to put the cattle in a couple of times a year, a couple of weeks in the spring and maybe a couple of weeks in the fall, and we'll see what happens. Now last year we had a little bit of a problem with this property because the fences are not great. We did as much repairs as we could. But we had some problems with some cattle getting out on a neighbor's property, and it ultimately ended up losing one cow last year. Still don't know what happened to her. We never found her. The neighbors said they saw her on their property one time, but the cow never showed up, and a little disappointing. I would have thought that maybe she would have been somewhere, somebody would have called us, but anyway, we never found the cow. So now going down this way, I really worked hard in previous videos, and we did a lot of fence repair. But on the north side of this property, the fences are still pretty bad, and on the east side of the property, the fences are still fairly bad. So let me show you what we did today to combat that and how we are going to try to overcome it. So this section here, got a lot of grass, it's got a lot of weeds, it's got a lot of stuff in it. But basically, we came in here today, we took the Bush Hog 3008 model, we came in here, knocked it down. It was an 8-foot shredder, so we made a couple of passes to give us about a 16-foot swath. Where this electric fence is going is actually the corner of our property. This over here is actually somebody else. And this is where the cattle were getting across. There is some major trees that have fell down on the fence, and honestly, I just don't have the time, the equipment to get in there and to get those trees off of it. I mean, they are monster trees, and they've been down for several years. So anyway, last year we lost a cow because it got on the neighbor's property. There's no fences over there. They don't raise cattle, so who knows where that cow went. He may have went 20, 30, 40 miles away. There's just no telling. But this year, we're going to solve this. I wish I could have went up a little bit further to get some more of this, but basically, we came in here and we put up this little electric fence. And let me tell you what, we're getting pretty fast. If you have 2 people in a Kubota, one person can actually hang out the side of the Kubota, put the sticks in the ground, and then you make a second pass and you unwind the cord, and basically you can actually put a fence like this up pretty damn quickly. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time. And I want you to look how muddy it is through here. I mean, it was all we could do to keep the tractor from getting stuck this morning when we made this pass. But hey, this is what it's about. You know, Greg Judy would tell you, hey, you know, try to be a good steward, try to help your landlord, and graze, graze, and graze. So I'm hoping the cows can get in here. There's a lot of weeds, but there's also a lot of decent grass in here. So why did we come right here and didn't go any further? Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. You probably cannot, but back in there is our actual property line that runs back this way, which is what we call our telephone 2 property, which connects on the back side of this rental. So the nice thing about this rental property is it connects to our property and should work out really well. So, all right guys, well I just wanted to kind of share with you what we've been doing today. So not only is it pecan maintenance, but we're getting ready to utilize the first turn on the rental property, and we put up a electric fence to basically keep the cattle out of the weak sections of the permanent fencing. So yeah, I'm losing a little grassland by doing it this way, but I also have the peace of mind of knowing that if the cows get out now, they're most likely going to get out onto our property and not one of the neighbors. Let me tell you what, I am a huge fan of the electric fence. I was a little slow to adapt, but once you get the components and you learn how to work with it, there is a lot to be said for it. You can do so much in a short period of time, and you control the cattle and you get them to go where you want them to go. And man, let me tell you, the benefits of rotational grazing just cannot be overstated. They are phenomenal. So, all right guys, but hey, there's some good grass in here for the time being. We're gonna put them in here, let our property rest for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll go from there. More to follow.